It's back on.
You can't say it's back on.
It's back on. It's back on, Gaz.
Can you imagine if City lose the league by a goal difference and 1 goal?
Man City need a goal and they're not bringing him on. But Phil Foden was supposed to be the Kevin De Bruyne replacement.
If I was Kobe Mainoo, I'd be thinking about whether I should sue him or not. I think to turn on Eddie and want him out would be ludicrous.
This summer, Newcastle's recruitment hasn't worked. They've spent an absolute fortune. You've paid 125 million for 2 centre forwards and you're saying they look better without them.
I am. Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with Alan Shearer at home, Micah Richards in the back of a car after a long day's work, watching football, as he likes to call it, work, and me, Gary Lineker, at home. And, well, before we start, I think we'll come. You're looking very smart in the back of that car. You look good on. You look very good on telly today.
Thank you very much,
good, I thought.
$1 million, $1 million, big meat, $1 million.
Behave yourself.
Before we get on to football, I think the country needs to know, Alan, what happened in the rest of your golf week.
Oh, guys. So Tuesday was the first day.
Going well.
Going really well. We sat in a really good position, 3rd or 4th, only two shots, 2 points off the lead with 2 days to go, Wednesday and Thursday. So we were really sensible Tuesday night, waiting to get up Wednesday morning to go again. And then it was cancelled because of the rain and the wind. So you know what? What do you do when the golf's cancelled? We head to the pub.
Get on the lash.
Well, what else can you do? So
we have conversations. You have a nice
Well,
lunch.
we did. We went to the pub and had conversations. So we went to the pub and then we stayed in the pub. And then we stayed in the pub a bit longer. And then we watched the Newcastle game. Yeah, we just had too much alcohol. And it just put us off our game on the Thursday.
What did I tell you this time last week, Alan?
Yeah, I know.
You've got to be more professional. We all do it on these golf trips.
So then,
and
instead
you
of
blamed your professional anyway, didn't you?
Instead of blaming Peter this time, our professional who shot level par, decent, slightly disappointing actually because he was two under with 4 to play on the first day. He then, after a day on the drink and
I bet you took him out though, didn't you? I bet you insisted he came along.
He came along. He had to come along with us. Yeah, absolutely. So from going from level par on the Tuesday, albeit in tough conditions on the Thursday, he shot 10 over. God. So, yeah. We blew our chances.
Bad influence.
Yeah. Oh, well, not to worry. Micah, you were in the studio. You were also on the pitch beforehand with Daniel Sturridge. That was a nice little bit you did together there.
Yeah, how did you like that? How did it go down? Because I thought, there's 4 of us in the studio. Go down pitch side, get a little bit of reaction and atmosphere from down under. I really enjoyed it.
I think Sturridge is very good, I have to say. I think he's come on quickly. I think he talks intelligently. He understands the game. Very good. Very impressed.
There was a good part on the pitch. I thought really good.
Anything to do with strikers and knowing the game, I just think he's brilliant. Like yourselves, when you talk about detail. And that's why I asked you guys so many questions, because we've all played striker. We all think we can play striker, but not play striker at that level. And it's them little differences that make the big differences to
actually,
someone
Mike.
like me who's listening to you. And the subtle differences, the subtle ones, they're not big differences. I mean,
Simple as that. It's just a simple game. Why don't more people do it, Al? Why don't more people do it? I tell you what, we've got lots to discuss. This episode is powered by Fuse Energy. Winter is all about energy. Switching on Christmas lights, warming your home for a cosy night in, keeping the TV on for all the festive fixtures.
And Fuse keeps things simple thanks to their fixed rates, cheap tariffs and 24/7 support.
Better yet, Alan, Fuse is the fastest growing energy company in the UK, and you can play a part in building the infrastructure for clean, affordable energy by referring land to Fuse for renewables development. Not only will you claim your place on the starting lineup of the clean energy revolution, you can earn a £2,000 reward by referring 20 acres or more of land to Fuse for solar projects.
They're building a system that proves renewable power can be affordable, scalable in practice, and accessible to everyone, not just an idea on a tactics board.
For more information about land referrals and energy powering the full festive fixture list, head to land@fuseenergy.com. Let's talk about the first bite delivered by Uber Eats, and well, chaps, what a match at Anfield.
Oh. Well, you were there, Micah. You sampled the atmosphere. It came across great on the television, and yeah, it was for the neutral. I just thought there was so many things to talk about, and a brilliant game of football, particularly the second half.
Second half was fabulous. Micah, what was it like being there?
You know, when you walk into a ground and you can feel it, you can sense it, that it's a big game. Everyone's there, getting there early. Everyone's on the pitch. Like, there's I won't say there's a nervousness, but it's just, everyone was really focused on what they had to do. And you got all the cameras on the side. And when we went pitch side, you're just thinking, this is a big game. Not in terms of maybe Liverpool and Man City of old, where they're going for the title, but it was massive in terms of Man City, staying in the challenge for the league. And then obviously Liverpool were trying to get into the Champions League. So you could just feel it from earlier on. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I thought it was absolutely fabulous. Second half. I mean, it had things. All right, we'll start with that actually after the game was already settled in many ways, because I've watched football for far too long. I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of matches, and there's nothing I ever see that I've not seen before. Almost nothing. And then the last minute of injury time, and they go through, and Cherky hits it towards the goal, and Haaland breezes past Szoboszlai like he's not moving. And Szoboszlai apparently is the second quickest player at Liverpool after Frimpong since records began. And I mean, he pulled him back, and then obviously he went through, and then he pulled Szoboszlai back before he could clear it off the line. And everyone's going, I'm going to say this, I'll blow my own trumpet a little bit, but immediately I went, right, be a red card for Szoboszlai, they'll disallow the goal, and it'd be a free kick to Manchester City outside the box. Even though I'd not ever seen it before, but you had to work it out because two wrongs don't make a right. The truth is, without VAR, the referee gave it, without VAR, it would have been a goal. It wouldn't have made any difference. It'd been 3-1. Szoboszlai wouldn't have got a red card, and everyone would have actually settled for that. It would have been fine. Yep. But because we have this VAR thing now, and they have to look at everything in minutiae detail, and it was the right decision in the end. We were saying on the group chat, he has to go. But without VAR, we wouldn't have had that. Yeah, it was a shame, but it didn't really make any difference. The only difference it ultimately makes is that Haaland would probably have had one more goal because he'd have caught that, and I had him as captain, and I think you did, Micah, as well.
Correct.
I'm sure you did. I hear you did. I'm reliably informed. So nothing would have changed except for the fact that Szoboszlai misses a game.
Unless Man City lose the title by 1 goal.
Good point, Al. That's, on goal difference.
Good point, Alan.
Yes.
If you got a feel for the game, which we all have, we all knew it was the right decision, but it shouldn't have been the right decision. Let the goal. On the other hand, though, we can't criticise, not you guys, but as a fan base, we can't criticise refs for doing their job, because if they didn't do their job, then they would get criticised.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
There also has to be an allowance at certain times for a little bit of common sense.
That's no longer allowed, common sense. That is not in any guidelines I've read.
I know it's not in any guidelines, but it's like, come on, guys. Just read the room, read the stadium, read what. Yes, it's the right decision. Yes, it's the law, but it's like the handball law. It's like, come on.
It's just a nonsense. Everything is written down now.
It is. It's just a nonsense. That's what it is. And can you imagine if City lose the league by a goal difference on 1 goal?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But anyway, Look, a quick word on because the Szoboszlai free kick. Oh my God.
Wow.
They're like the speed of it and the way it just bent dramatically at the last minute. I mean, God, what a hit. And he's obviously not the first time he's done it. I mean, he's such a pure striker of a footballer, isn't he?
Yeah, that just doesn't happen. That takes so much time on the training ground to do that type of thing. And he's obviously brilliant at it and spends a lot of time practicing. But my goodness me, what a strike. Incredible goal, yeah.
No, but the thing is with that, watching it live, guys, was madness. So when he's stepping up, we think we can hit him. He can hit him from them years.
Was it the right end of the pitch of the studio, same bit, or the other end?
No, it was the other end, so you're behind it.
Because that studio's right in the corner, Anfield, isn't it? It's like a bit small. You all looked a bit squished up, like in four sardines in a tin. But at least that studio has got its own loo around the corner, which I always thought was vital in my latter stages when I need the loo a lot at my age.
It's brilliant. The hospitality was fantastic. But watching the free kick from behind it and seeing it dip and swerve and everything, the technique was just amazing. However, from a defender's point of view, you've got to have 4 in a wall. You've got... Why?
I was thinking the same, especially as you know he can do that.
Exactly. You've got to stop it from going there. If someone was in the wall, he would have blocked it. But let's not take anything away from the strike because it was phenomenal.
I wouldn't want to block that. Would you? I wouldn't want to block that. Take your head off.
Sometimes you just got to say, well done. Well done. What an amazing goal. What a great strike.
Really important in terms of City's chances in the title race. It keeps the lead that it was prior to the weekend. And I think we all thought it could be a pivotal weekend because that's a tough place to go, Anfield. Their record's not great there. They've only won once there under Pep previously. So it was a big ask. And then they go a goal down. You have to say we've not necessarily seen it from City in the last few, like year and a half or so. They're coming back from behind in adversity and... It was a good little comeback.
Well, I was saying, wasn't I, on our chat, saying, they played that well, but they needed to score in that first half period because I thought they're gonna regret this. And then when he pops up with the brilliance of the free kick, as we've just spoken about, you're thinking, that's it. To be fair to City, though, wow, what a response! I mean, they were done. The league was done at that time, but they refused to give up, and you have to give them huge credit for that and the way that they've come back. And you can imagine Mikel Arteta sat at home, can't you, thinking, what a great result this is. Even a draw, you think, you'll take that. But
he'll never admit it, but they do.
Of course they do. But then, it was like the brilliant response.
I think for the neutrals, it keeps it alive. I still don't think there's any way that Arsenal won't win it personally. But 6 points is a lead that I had with Everton when we with Liverpool back in 1986, and we conspired not to win the title, mainly down to losing key players to injury. So, but it can happen. That sort of thing can happen.
You didn't have a squad like Arsenal's, though, did you?
No, I had a squad of 16. That was it. Yeah, totally different game back then, of course.
Can we talk about a few players, though?
Yes, please.
Because, I mean, Mark Gay, wow.
I was just going to ask you, Micah. I wanted a defender's opinion of him because he was so good, particularly in the first half.
I mean, he reads the game so well. He's good in the air. He's good on the ball. Like, you're looking at a centre-half. And no disrespect to Crystal Palace, fantastic club, but it's a step up, isn't it? Can you do it consistently for Manchester City? And he's coming to that squad and look like he's been there for 2 or 3 years.
It's the same when he walked into the England team, though, wasn't it?
Correct. But in the England team, I think it's a little bit easier because it's a more defensive game. So the way Man City play, you're liable to a counter-attack. Can you deal with that? And he deals with everything brilliantly. The only one blemish is probably when he pulls back Salah. He was very lucky. This thing that Man City are trying to do, where to keep the high line, on another day, he could have got a red card.
But even then, though, Micah, he did work out very quickly. I mean, if it had been through in the middle of the goal, he'd done that and he'd have got a red card, it might have cost him the game. But I think he's evaluated it. He's let go just before he goes into the area, and he's recognised probably immediately that he's in a wide enough position for it not to be a clear goal-scoring opportunity.
I think that's fair. I didn't know he was this good. I know he's playing with better players now, but it's his reading of the game. He's rarely in a bad position. He reminds me of a Ledley King in terms of the way he reads it. And yeah, he's probably a bit faster. Ledley's knees weren't great, but he's just always in the right position. And watching him live in a big game like that against a top striker in Ekitike and how well he's been performing this season, I just thought it was, a class above.
Different personality, because he's quite inward, isn't he, and quite shy. But in terms of the way he plays, a little bit John Terry.
Yes, it's a great shout.
We can ping it around both feet as well.
Yeah, he can play. He's really comfortable on the ball. He's strong. He's powerful. He's aggressive. He got a few goals at Crystal Palace, and a quick shout to Crystal Palace. Big win for them. Big win for the way things are going. And Strand Larsen had a chance at the end, but he missed and would have set them off better. But wanted to mention them. So that was important. And pressure probably on Brighton a little bit now on the manager.
Well, they're in such a bad run of form and they spent a lot of money, haven't they? And because of what they've achieved before, where they've finished, then I don't see it being a happy place down there. You can hear the boos when they're coming off. I know it's a big game against one of their rival. But it doesn't seem all's well down there.
No, while we're on the subject of booing, I didn't like the Liverpool fans booing Mark Gay every time he got the football. Now, he wanted to go to Liverpool. He had the shirt on. He had a picture taken. It wasn't his decision. Crystal Palace pulled him back. And then he's come to the January window and City have gone in for him and they've done the deal with Palace. I mean, come on, guys, whoever's booing. I mean, really? He's such a lovely guy as well. I mean, he just...
Sign of respect. You don't get booed if you're a bad player.
Well, there is that. They care about you. You're obviously going to be good if they're booing. And I thought, I'd say it lightheartedly, but I thought, hang on a minute, what's he done here?
Yeah,
I mean, he was desperate to go to Liverpool, wasn't he, in the summer? But such are football fans and their behaviours. The title race it's bubbling along now again.
Oh, it's back on.
You can't say it's back on.
It's back on. It's back on, Gaz.
It's exactly where it was on Friday.
No. Man City have won at Anfield, 3 times or something in their history. The last time they beat them was in COVID. Something's happening. I told you guys, against Spurs in the first half, excellent. Against Newcastle early doors, Mamouche and Semenyo wide strikers, the combinations are back. The only thing they wasn't doing is putting the ball in the back of the onion bag. And Haaland did that today. He didn't have a great game. Big moments. He got his assist for Bernardo and then he gets his penalty. That pressure moment, I was delighted for him.
Even Pep, though, after the game, Micah, after the game said, we're not consistent enough in a game. He said, we're doing it for spells at the moment. He said, it's young and this might take a little bit more time. So I think he recognises it himself that they're not quite... I mean, you look at them now. I mean, the one player I think that's such a glaring miss for them is Kevin De Bruyne. The service that he to provide you strikes and stuff, he's almost impossible to replace.
You're not going to ever replace him. He's one of the best we've ever seen. And I know they've spent a fortune on other players in positions, but you're never getting someone like him again. He's a one-off. He's amazing what he did, but I wouldn't feel too sorry for them with the players they've got, though.
Exactly. And unusually, I thought, I mean, it wasn't Alisson's best day. He got himself caught in a couple of positions. He gave the penalty away. Donnarumma was, in contrast with that save.
Brilliant.
I mean, from the deflection there, from McAllister. Oh. My goodness me, that was huge.
Great save, yeah. It was a brilliant save. But you're right about Alisson, because he got, when Marmouche went through as well, he got caught, didn't he?
Marmouche chickened out there, didn't he?
He did. He knew he could have got. He could have got him a red card, Alisson. If he had wanted it more, I guess then Alisson would have seen red, because he just needed a touch there and he would have been wiped out. And so there was that, and of course the penalty, which I don't know what he's even doing, even thinking about coming out and doing what he did there. It's just a crazy decision.
While we're talking about good performances, Donnarumma, I thought it was excellent. I thought Bernardo Silva was. But is it the Phil Foden question? Man City need a goal, and they're not bringing him on. You know, that is something that I'm not seeing for years. And I can't believe it. And I know Semenyo's playing well. Bernardo Silva's playing well. Mamouche did really well against Newcastle, got his 2 goals. But Phil Foden was supposed to be the Kevin De Bruyne replacement.
And he had a great spell, didn't he, before Christmas, he was flying. And now he seems to have gone out of favour again with Pep. Does Pep trust him ultimately? Does this affect, well, it can affect whether he even makes the England squad for the World Cup?
Absolutely, it affects it, yeah, because if he's not playing, then he isn't going to go.
Especially considering there are so many players in that position.
Exactly, yeah. It's really strange, isn't it? Because you're right, it's had such a good time before Christmas, I think it was.
We were all saying it's the real Phil Foden, he's back. Yeah. Now, we have to be careful on these things because he intimated, didn't he, in a conversation, in an interview, that he'd had issues, personal issues of some sort the season before, which could explain things, certainly. So we have to be careful because who knows what's going on in the background. You never know with footballers. There could be something. I have no idea. I've got no inside information whatsoever, but I'd love to see him back playing like he was just before Christmas again.
Yeah, it's sad to see because we know what he can do.
Exactly.
And I'm his biggest fan, like I was with Jack Grealish. Yeah. And he can be the difference. And when you see what he's done and how many Premier Leagues and whatnot, and when he won Player of the Year a couple of seasons ago, you want him to be that guy. But because of so much competition at Man City, it's very difficult. And I feel like his performances, I want to say scrutinised more, but we expect so much from him. And then when he's not delivering, he's sort of the one that sacrificed, which is sad to see.
Yeah, it is. Let's hope he can revitalise himself. Yeah. It's a long season, plenty of time. That was the first bite delivered by Uber Eats. And we'll take a break now, actually. And we'll let you go, Micah, because you're in the back of a car and you've had a long, hard day, and we don't want to tire you out too much. And Alan's had a week off playing golf anyway. And then we'll come back with the second half when we'll discuss Saturday's games. But we've already recorded that this morning, so that sounds a little bit odd, but hopefully not odd for you listening. So we'll be back in a minute. I know what we said. It's really good. You should stick with us. And we're going to discuss Manchester United. Are they back? This episode is brought to you by Hotels.com. Make your next trip work for you. Hotels.com just rolled out a game-changing feature called Save Your Way, and it's as simple as it sounds. When you book a trip as a Hotels.com member, you decide how to use your savings. Choose to take the instant savings now or bank the savings as rewards for later. It's your call. Envision converting discounts on this week's stay into rewards for a luxurious beach getaway next year. No complicated math, no blackout dates, just you choosing how to make your travels work harder for you. Only at Hotels.com. Save Your Way is available to loyalty members in the US and UK on hotels with member prices. Other terms apply. See site for details. Welcome back to The Rest is Football. Just Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker. We're going to discuss Saturday's games. Alan, you're doing Match of the Day, so you got that lovely privileged position. It's the one thing I probably miss, actually, about not doing Match of the Day, is that sitting down and watching the 3:00 games. I think we should start with probably the resurgence of Manchester United. Yep. I mean, Carrick's come in. He's won all his games in charge. Yep. They're playing free-flowing, entertaining football. And, I mean, quite the contrast, isn't it?
He's got them playing some really good football. He's got them really well organised, and they're controlling games. It helps when you have a bit of madness from the opposition when a player gets sent off for a stupid tackle, but that's not his fault or their fault. They can only do what they can control.
Can I just pull you up there, right? So, okay, I'm going to go against the field here. And I understand totally why they gave it a red card. I think he was just a bit unlucky. I think it was a block tackle. I watched it live, and I watched Match of the Day, and I watched it all the analysis half-time yesterday at the end of the game. I never saw one single replay shown in normal speed. If you see it in normal, I rewound it, like you can do on the TV now. You just go, it's back. And 3 times I watched it, and it was like It's just a 50-50 in which he's fractionally late. He's got a bit of the ball and he's gone through, foot really low in the ground, so clearly doesn't want to hurt him. I don't think there's any intent there. I just think slow motion, it makes everything look horrible. And also over the weekend, there were two other tackles. There was one from Brobby, Sunderland, that looked worse to me. That was actually over the top. Romero definitely didn't go over the top of the ball. And there was one more in that game, the United game. It was Diallo. It was very, very similar. So I understand why they gave him a red, because if you're going to see that in slow motion, it looks awful. In his defence, I don't think there was anything. I mean, you go for the ball and you go down, your foot goes in, and if you watch it back in normal speed, it doesn't look much. But then you see it in slow-mo and he hits his ankle, obviously, and it goes over. So I totally get why they sent him off. I'm not saying they shouldn't. But there were other tackles this weekend that were the same. And I think if you go really over the top of the ball, then that, like you did in our day, no one does that anymore, thankfully. But I don't know. It's just an alternative opinion. And I'm not saying the referees or the VAR got it wrong, but I just saying this bloody slow motion nonsense.
Well, you're absolutely entitled to say that. You have your opinion. But what I would say is that the referee saw it in without slow motion. He saw it in full speed, and he was 10 or 12 yards away, and he thought it was a really dangerous tackle. I did. I thought it was a nasty tackle. I know you've also got to know your players and all of those things. And I think Michael Oliver got it right. I thought it was a dangerous tackle. You could see the way Casemiro's ankle buckled. I thought it was a stupid challenge. And if you make a stupid challenge like that, you're giving the referee on the day the chance to send you off. And I thought it was a dangerous one. So I thought he got it right. But anyway, back to Man United. Yes. That's not their fault or their problem. Yeah, they're playing some really good stuff. He's totally changed the attitude as Michael Carrick. They just, I don't know, they're just they look really gelled. They look really together. They scored a really good set piece from a corner, which is obviously something they've worked on. Bruno Fernandes clearly loving playing for Carrick. He was outstanding again.
What a footballer, isn't he?
Brilliant.
I mean, I loved his finish,
Clever finish.
Because what he did there, he knew the ball was going to bounce up. So he's thinking, right, I've got to get my knee over the ball and just let it hit me. Wherever it hits me, on whatever part of the shin. And he definitely meant that. I think he said in the interview on Match of the Day after the game that he did mention it. And that was absolutely pure football intelligence. I mean, we talked, didn't we, a bit prematurely about contenders for Player of the Season earlier, a couple of podcasts ago. I mean, he's playing wonderfully well. It's a great stat here, actually. He's reached 200 goal involvements in 314 games now for Manchester United. Only Wayne Rooney has done it in fewer games, 295 games.
How embarrassing does it look for Ruben Amorim at the minute?
I was thinking the same thing. Do you know what? If I was Kobbie Mainoo, and I say this in jest, I'd be thinking about whether I should sue him or not. I mean, he's taken a year out of that kid's career. This kid is a wonderful footballer. I mean, God, he makes it look so easy. He wants the ball, he receives it with anyone around him, and he always makes the right decisions. He's graceful. I mean,
I can't stop laughing at your comment. I would sue him.
Well, I mean, come on. He's been absolutely detrimental to his career. I mean, if he doesn't make the World Cup squad, and I sense he probably, if he can stay fit and if he keeps playing, because he's just a seriously good football. I mean, I know his brother got in a bit of trouble, didn't he, for saying with the T-shirt, free Kobbie. But he has absolutely got a point, his brother. I think he was, I mean...
There are so many things here. I know that, but that's not the only one. I mean, the system. Goodness me, the system that he refused to go away from. And when he did, he won the game and then reverted back to his own system and it didn't work again. But there are so many things that he must be cringing at the performances of Manchester United now and the atmosphere and what Michael Carrick has done since being in there. He really must be cringing, if he is watching it. I'm not sure he will be, but he has to be, because
wait till he gets the letter from Kobbie's lawyer.
Goodness me, there are so many things.
I'd say this in jest, obviously, but I mean, come on.
I know.
I mean, it was so baffling that he couldn't see how good that young man is. And I've thought to myself, has something happened? Has he got, above his station? Has he got something of? But he's come back in. You think, no.
Yeah.
No, he's exactly what he was before, which was actually, if you think about it,
a good player.
Arguably England's best player in the Euros.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. Absolutely bonkers. But he's put them in a great position, Michael Carrick, to get Champions League football, which I must admit seemed impossible, 2 months ago? Yeah, he's done a fantastic job. He's obviously settled everything down. And the noise coming out there is all positive now instead of all negative, which it was under Ruben Amorim. It really is a remarkable turnaround.
It is, and people will jump on and say, yeah, but might just be a quick bounce. But I don't see that. You look at them now and they look like a team. Cunha and Mbumo, really good signings, settled in really well. Lemons in goal. I think it looks like they've got a really, really promising young goalkeeper there. He brought back, obviously, Harry Maguire, who's stable, really good in both boxes. And he's playing Bruno further forward. That clever little system that I think Danny did a thing, didn't he, last night?
Really good.
Very good to how he's worked it, Carrick. Even everything's coming off at the moment. Now there'll be tougher times to come, obviously, and I suppose they've still got to answer the. I mean, you don't put Spurs in this bracket, but they did go down to 10 men. The next 3 games: West Ham, Everton, and Crystal Palace for United. West Ham away is next, and the fella's 1 game away from getting his hair cut. The one guy on social media. I mean, he really does need a haircut.
He must be desperate. He must be desperate.
Oh, dear.
If they win it, then just come to this side, mate, whatever your name is. I forgot your name. Come to this side. Take it all off.
Yeah. Come to the bold side. The bold side. It is a managerial bounce, and we see that. But, it also brings me back to the point about United players and the criticism they got during the Amorim period, saying they don't care. Players do care. They do care, but performances are affected by confidence, and you can see now they're all confident and they're all as one, and they clearly believe in the way they're playing now.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And they're all on board, and there doesn't seem to be any animosity or anything. He's just gone in and calmed everything down and got this to a system or different little tweaks that players understand and want to do and can play and relate to. And I guess he's just speaking their language, if you know what I mean, and something that is pretty basic, pretty simple. And he's got all of those things back into the dressing room, and it's amazing what happens when you do that. He's doing a fantastic job. Yeah,
it's good to see. By contrast, Spurs, I mean, obviously the red card affected things quite in a big way, but also the amount of injuries they've got. I mean, it's a devastating injury list. They're only 6 points clear of West Ham. Yeah. West Ham are definitely improving. They won the battle of the Claret and Blue.
Yeah.
And, look much improved on what before. Nuno is doing well. Are Spurs, is it conceivable that Spurs could drop into that relegation area?
Well, where they finished last year, I mean, everyone was astonished, weren't they? Is that Spurs can't finish that. But then, they haven't got any better. And as you say, the injuries obviously are hurting them, but then at some stage of the season, everyone gets injuries and you have to be able to handle that. And they should be doing a lot better because, they are in the Champions League. But, I said it last night.
I think the bottom 2 are done for, aren't they? Wolves and Burnley, I think they're done for. I think even their own fans would probably accept that. And then it's probably West Ham or Forest. Now, it'd be lovely irony for Nuno, wouldn't it, if he sent Forest down? Lost his job there this season. Wow. That'd be quite nice. But
when you got to look at Palace as well, because they're in a dreadful run of form, and it all depends what happens. How does Strand Larsen, does he hit the ground running and start scoring some goals? He has to. Otherwise, they're in trouble. Leeds, I think, because of their home form and because of that atmosphere and everything else, then I think they might be okay. Yeah. So, my guess is at the minute, and we know how quick it can change, because a month ago, West Ham were gone.
Well, we thought the bottom 3 were going to stay the bottom 3, but they have rallied.
They have. And I
think we should point out, Alan, just before we move on, that we are recording this piece of the podcast before the Sunday games, even though it's the second half, and we've already talked about the Sunday games. And we don't know what's happened at this point. So obviously one of those games involves Palace.
Yeah, that is very true. So at the minute, yeah, I guess West Ham or Forest. I mean, Forest are in Europe as well, so how that sort of does that hinder them or not? I don't know. But yeah, it's you've got to give credit to West Ham because I thought they were really positive and have been really positive ever since that Wolves result. Yesterday they went 2 up top again. It's like an old-fashioned 4-4-2 it was yesterday, the way they had Somerville and Bowen on either side and pinging it into 2 centre forwards. So yeah, they deserve their 3 points, and I tell you what, they've made a right fist of it, and all the others around them, they dragged them right back into it.
Yeah. Just before we go on to one or two of the other games, I'd just like to go back to Manchester United. They're 12 points behind Arsenal. They've got no European football this season. They've got no FA Cup. They've got no Carabao Cup. Can they win every game and pip Arsenal for the league? I've got a couple of friends of mine that have had to bet on Man United to win the league.
Oh,
and
stop it.
I said, why don't you just give it to charity?
It's only you haven't been drinking. It's only just after midday we're recording this. So
yeah. Well, I said you're better off giving it to charity, or you could give it to Ruben Amorim to defend his case in court that's coming up from Copy Maynard.
Oh goodness.
Arsenal though, I just can't. I can't envisage a scenario where they've got such a big squad as well, so they can cope with injuries. They don't seem to have many injuries. Saka's injured at present, but not too many compared with other clubs. They're not always wonderful on the eye, but that doesn't really matter. They're incredibly well organised, won comfortably again, even though I thought, Sunderland made it difficult for them.
It was a bit of quality from one of their big signings in the summer, Zubimendi, who got that first goal.
What a beautiful goal that was.
Great strike. And Sunderland did make it really difficult for them. They put them under some big pressure. But I thought that yesterday, when you look at, I think Saka was out, Odegaard was out. Yeah. They're bringing on Eze, Gyökeres, Martinelli.
It's not bad, is it?
It's unbelievable. So that's absolutely their strength is incredible this season. And what a position they're in! What a fantastic position. I mean, even after they weren't brilliant yesterday, but they won comfortably in the end. But that has to be a good sign as well, So what a position. Yeah.
Do you think they've got the best squad in possibly European football? If you're talking about the overall squad, I mean, there will be teams with probably maybe
better 11. I don't know.
Starting 11, maybe.
Their defence is
Barcelona
so solid as well as that. The defence on a goalkeeper.
I know.
Yeah, they're...
God, he actually made a mistake yesterday and nearly conceded the first goal. When you see Raya make a mistake, you go, oh my God, it's so rare.
Yeah, Robbie should have scored, actually. Should have done better than what he did.
Didn't he? Clearing it.
But that squad of theirs is really, really strong. Who are out injured, who they can bring in, who they can bring off the bench. Fantastic.
He did also make one or two really good saves. It's worth pointing out. How many trophies can they win this season?
Oh.
As Micah said in the last episode, you've just got to take one cup at a time.
I know, but then when you look at their form in the Champions League, won all 8 games, they're in the final of the Carabao, flying at the top of the Premier League. I mean, gee, unbelievable. This could be their best season ever.
Interested he's changing things around up front at the moment, Arteta. Gyökeres has sort of come out of the side. There was also a stat on Matchday Sky. In all competitions, he's scored more goals than any other Premier League player since the start of this year. Maybe he's more of an impact player. He's coming on as well. You got Havertz, obviously a different kind of player. Then you've got Jesus, who looks to get behind, who was marginally offside. Otherwise, they'd have got a penalty on the half. He shouldn't have been offside there. He didn't need to do that. So they've all of a sudden, from having basically no number 9s that were doing anything, now they've got probably 3. Now, Havertz is a classy act.
Yeah, he is. He's a very good footballer, isn't he? Technically excellent. So they've got some really interesting options. I think Gyökeres is on 8 Premier League goals now. So I did see that. Obviously, saw that stat doing Match of the Day. So yeah, they're very, very strong, and it's looking incredibly good for Arsenal. Yeah,
it's hard to look anywhere else at present. Cole Palmer has come back fit, starting to score. I know 2 of them were penalties, but it's a nice little return to form. And he was playing off the right mostly, wasn't he? But drifting into those central positions. And again, if we bring up the England issue here, you've got Palmer or Saka. It's not a bad choice to have, is it? And then behind that, you also play on that side. Bowen sort of plays there a lot. Madwicki as well. I mean, he's got some
not bad, is it?
Tough decisions. I mean, he's going to be leaving some seriously good players out of the squad coming in the summer. But what do you think, Palmer or Saka? I think Saka probably gives you a bit more defensively.
On that right side, I think Saka, yeah. I think that's his position, Saka, if he's fit. But that was really interesting listening to Cole saying, but he's having to manage his injury in a specific way. I hate being in that position as a player. You know that you're getting through with an injury, not able to train as much as you want to, and then you're just getting out into the game, and then you go back to square one when it might be feeling okay because you had the 90 minutes, and it's a horrible position to be in that. So the sooner the better he can get.
I know that injury, Alan, funnily enough. I spent a year at Everton with that injury.
Really?
Yeah, that exactly the same. It was niggling. I never trained, and that's where people used to say, "Oh, he never trains. He just has a bath every day." And there was a reason. I was struggling, but it didn't stop me playing, and you could play through it.
Yeah.
But it was a niggle that was there all the time, and then it wasn't really until I had a break after the World Cup that it sort of went away. It's a weird one because it niggles you, and once you get playing a little bit, you're all right, and then you can do something and it just stiffens up again. If it is exactly the same injury, but from when he's talked about, the club have talked about it, it sounds very similar. He also said some really nice words about Liam Rosenior. This is his quote: "Life under Liam Rosenior is amazing. He gives us all confidence. He lets us be ourselves, play free. I'm sure when I'm back proper fit, you'll see the best of me."
Yeah, I mean, he's had I know they're out at the Carabao, but he's had a really good start. And I think the next two games, maybe Leeds, Burnley as well. So then it might get a bit tougher after that. But he's had a really good start. You do get the feeling that there is people just waiting for him to fail because of some of his interviews, I guess. But he can't control that.
I don't see why. I mean, he talks openly, and I know some people have said it's a bit David Brent at times, but they said that you could say the same thing about Arteta and some of the things we've seen from him in the past. But it doesn't matter. I think he's had to come in there as a young coach and to exude confidence.
Yeah.
And I think it's great to see young English coaches doing really well. Michael Carrick being another one.
Yeah.
It's encouraging. It's been so long, hasn't it, really, that we've had coaches that are at big clubs. I mean, it's so rare.
Yeah, do and say what you want. If you win games, it doesn't really matter. You shove all the words down people's throats. Just win games. That's what he's there for. And at the minute, I think he's had a really good start. And with two really exciting, or two games you'd expect them to win. So yeah, it's good for him. Both
Carrick and Rosenior have won their 4 Premier League games, I should have, which is just the start you need, and well, it's helpful. I mean, I know it might be a managerial bounce, although I saw some statistics on that the other day, that it's actually a bit of a myth, that it actually pans out about the same generally. So I'm not sure whether that was right or not. But Villa dropped points again. I think that rules them out of any conceivable chance. Not that we ever really thought they would, but because Arsenal probably too strong. But, they're still going well. Morgan Rogers, another goal for him. I mean, the one thing we thought about him a season or two ago, didn't we? Would he score enough goals? Would he get enough assists? But he's definitely upped his game in that. And that's another debate, isn't it, about who do you play in there? Could it be Bellingham? Could it be Rogers? Could it be Palmer? Could it be Foden? I mean, he's got
incredible talent.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant talent, and he is adding... he's adding something, or he's adding goals to his game, and there's a maturity about him, I think, and he's brilliant. I love watching him play. He's got this strut, hasn't he? Which I really, really like.
Yeah.
But I think for Villa, if they just get into the top 4, top 5, I think that would be a brilliant season for them.
If all were fit and well, who would you play in there? If he does decide to go with a 10, which he might not, who would you? I
think he'll play with the players that he's already played. Yeah, I think he'll have Anderson and perhaps Rice, and then Rodgers ahead
of Bellingham. You don't think Bellingham makes it? I mean, I know he's injured at the moment, Jude. He's out for a month.
At the minute, I think that's what he'll. If it was tomorrow, I think that's what he would go with.
It's an interesting one. That was one of the 3:00 games I didn't see, but I caught a little snippet on Match of the Day. Bournemouth looked like their replacement for Semenyo, 19-year-old Brazilian. Ryan.
Yeah. Did really well, his first Premier League goal. Yeah, he looked really positive and confident, and everything he did was going forward, So, he scored a great goal. I mean, I'd say what you want about Villa's defending. Coutinho just stood and let him run past him, didn't he? But, he looks really promising, and their recruitment's been good, hasn't it, in terms of they know someone's going, they've got to get someone else in. They've done really well, Bournemouth, in doing that.
All right, Alan, I've saved the worst till last.
Thanks. I knew it was coming.
Or the best till last if you're a Brentford fan. There's a lot of kind of unrest at St James's Park, a lot of booing. Eddie Howe seems to be under pressure. And I before you offer your opinion, Alan, I'm going to get it in a minute. I want to put my 2 penneth worth.
Yep.
Eddie Howe's been the most successful manager that you've had in Premier League history.
Yep.
He's won you a competition. There was a bit of turmoil in the summer, obviously, and the recruitment so far has not borne fruit. I think to turn on Eddie and want him out would be ludicrous. And boy, oh boy, be careful what you wish for, because I think he's such a talented coach. So before you speak, I wanted to get that out from my perspective. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm with that. I mean, Eddie gave me my best day as a Newcastle fan in my lifetime. So I'm not turning on him at all. I think you have to look at the bigger picture and is to see why and what's gone on, rather than just say, okay, and I get it, that results because of the very high standards that he's set. Champions League football, continually getting to latter stages of cup competitions, which we've always struggled in, and getting to Champions League and all of that. And that's the standard that he's set now. So when you drop below that, then you're going to come in for some criticism. And I get that and understand that. Because as a manager, you have to go out when you have to win games. And at the minute, Newcastle are not. And they're not sitting pretty in the Premier League with what they've spent. So let's get back to let's look at the bigger picture. What happened and how come Newcastle are here now?
Yeah, what did happen, Alan?
Well, I'm not on the inside, so I'm only looking at it from an outsider's point of view. It looks as if to me is that what's happened in the summer hasn't helped anyone, because they didn't have no sporting director. They didn't have any chief executive. And that for me clearly wasn't right, and it left the club in a bit of turmoil. They then have gone from being a club that has recruited so well. I mean, look at Hall, look at Livramento, look
Hall's
at
great,
Tonali, Bruno, all these guys that they brought in for big money. Isak was another one, and so they brought all these guys in for decent money, and all these guys have been brilliant. Yet this summer, Newcastle's recruitment hasn't worked. They've spent an absolute fortune.
They have, but do you think because of the Isak situation, there's a bit more of a panic buying situation?
Well, of course, yeah. They were left in a really difficult situation, but with no sporting director and no chief executive, who was managing that situation? Who was actually saying, right, if this happens, we have to have cover. If he stays, fine. But if it doesn't, then who are we going to get? And they went in, and I don't think they went in for so many players and lost out. They went in for Mbeumo, they went in for Delap, they went in for Ekitike, they went in for Šeško, and didn't get any of those players, and were left scrambling towards the end. And there's no doubt they've paid a fortune for some of these players. Visser hasn't hit the heights.
I still think Visser might come good. He had a long injury. He's out for a long time, and he's come back, and it's not quite happened for him yet. But I see a goal scorer in there, and I think he'll come good. Voltemader's, I'm not sure what he is. He's a 10 probably, isn't he?
I think he's half and half. And he's really struggling with the physicality and with the pace of the Premier League at the minute.
Because he's not the quickest, is he?
No. And also I look at what are we used to with Eddie Howe's team is that how did they get the success? How did they get into the top 4 or 5? How did they win the Carabao Cup? How did they continually go against teams? For me, it was always high press, high energy, going after teams and being relentless. That at the minute is miles off what we've expected or what we'd hoped, because last season was brilliant. I'm not seeing that at all. I'm not seeing the same energy from this group of players. I know they've got injuries and all of those things, but that's the hard thing to take.
The games that I've seen lately, I think they look their best when they play the three wingers up top.
What with
the energy that they've
Murphy,
got,
Barnes and Gordon up top.
I mean, I know he's not a natural 9, Gordon, but there is an energy, and they do look to get behind.
Yeah, but there lies the problem. You've paid 125 million for 2 centre forwards, and you're saying they look better without them. and there lies the problem. Their recruitment this summer, and I don't know whose idea it was or whose decision it was. I guess it was a team decision. But whoever is responsible for bringing those players in at the minute, it hasn't worked. And clearly it hasn't worked because he keeps flip-flopping between Visser and Voltemada and Elanga. That hasn't worked. Ramsey, they paid 40 million for that. Shown 1 or 2 signs, but nowhere near enough. So the one that has worked is Malik Chow. He's a really good player. But there's a lot of discussion, and you should never listen to it online, but I'm, without a doubt, stick with Eddie.
Yes.
Just be careful what you wish for. This guy has given us the best day of our life in terms of winning a trophy, my life anyway. And he's a brilliant coach, and there's no doubt that he's having a tough time at this moment in time. His first real test, but that doesn't mean you get rid of someone when they're having a bit of a tough time in their first time. So for me, stick with him. We try and stick together as a football club because there's a lot of noise, and that's the way you get better and you improve. But it has been poor recruitment up to now.
Yeah, recruitment's everything, not just in football, any club. But also in life, in business.
Before we go any further, before the Brentford fans have a pop at us.
A very good point. I was just about to make.
They were absolutely outstanding and have been. And what a job Keith Andrews is doing.
Incredible.
Isn't it? We talk about recruitment. I mean, Ouattara, he was the replacement for maybe Mbeumo or Wissa, whatever. But he was brilliant against Newcastle. The cross he put in, his finish, I know maybe Nick Pope could have done better. But on the other side of the recruitment, him and what Brentford are doing have been absolutely superb.
Yeah, they've also got the second highest score in Thiago in the league. I know there's been a few penalties, but so is Erling Haaland. He's only 3 behind Haaland.
Brilliant.
17. Haaland on 20. I mean, Keith Andrews, they're 7th now in the Premier League and only 4 points off Chelsea, who are in 5th, which will almost certainly get a Champions League spot next season. He's got to be one of the managers of the season.
I think I'm correct in saying, guys, did they maybe win 1 out of 7 or something like that? Or really struggle at the beginning of the season? Yeah.
We're all going, they're going to miss,
Yeah, it's incredible the job that he's... And I get, whoever goes in against Brentford, it's very much like Sunderland. Whoever goes in against Brentford and Sunderland, they know they're in for a game, by the way, because they've got an aggression, they've got an energy, they've got a pace about their game, and they've got players who can hurt you.
Yeah, totally agree. Good positive way to finish this episode of The Rest is Football. So, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.